Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. If I may have your attention, please. We ask that you all please begin getting seated. This ceremony will begin promptly at 4 p.m. Thank you so much.
Justice, are you sure? Come on. I didn't go to Benchmark this year, but.
Well, but the benchmark you were speaking.
Oh, okay.
You stood up and you said, you don't have to stand up anymore.
Well, that's awesome.
Stay in practice.
Welcome to my law firm, man. Against Merrick, our mock trial teams in Spain. Our high school mock trial teams that our children are both on. So I wanted to say hi to them and promote me. World's missing Dr. Pepper. You know Matt Gigliotti, remember you stole my car away?
He said it.
Judge Shell, James Stanton. Very nice to meet you. I practice in Dallas. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you too. Welcome back to Dallas. No, sir. No, sir. This is an exciting day for Judge Ramirez. I'll let you guys judge it out. Judge Shell, nice to meet you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. Would everyone please take their seat? The doors will be closing at 3:55, and we will begin promptly at 4 p.m. Again, if everyone would please have a seat, we will begin promptly at 4 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. If everyone would please have a seat. The doors will be closing at 3:55, and we will begin promptly at 4 p.m. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. If everyone would please be seated, we will begin promptly at 4 p.m. Thank you.
All rise. United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit is assembled according to law. God bless the United States and this honorable court.
Thank you. Would you please remain standing? Get my notes here. I apologize. Mr. McKay? Mr. Vasquez?
May it please the court, and thank you, Your Honor. I am now honored to introduce the Boy Scouts of America to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the Bar None Singers who will present the national anthem. Boy Scouts.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One, two.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. So first, thank you to the Boy Scouts and the Bar None Singers for contributing to this distinguished event. And good afternoon and welcome to the ceremonial session of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals for the investiture of the Honorable Irma Carrillo Ramirez, with the Honorable Chief Judge Richmond presiding. First, as most of you already know, there are rules of decorum for the ceremonial session, and we ask that all cell phones must be turned off and silenced. Photography and videography are prohibited, and we thank you for your cooperation. Now, more importantly, I want to note that everyone here today is an honored guest of the Honorable Irma Ramirez for this occasion. But at this time, we'd like to recognize certain distinguished guests and elected officials that have joined us today. Respectfully, if you could stand when called and remain standing while we recognize you. Would all the federal judges from all 4 districts please stand to be recognized? Thank you. We also have elected officials in their offices joining us in some capacity today, including Senator John Cornyn and Senator Cruz via video, and counsel for Senator Cruz and Senator Durbin. Would you please stand, and thank you for being here. Would all of the state court judges please stand? Thank you. We also have former Dallas Bar Association presidents in attendance. Would you please stand to be recognized? Thank you. We have deans of law schools here today. Would you please stand? Thank you. Would any other dignitaries from the judiciary, agencies, state bar, or city officials that I haven't already mentioned, please also stand to be recognized? Thank you. And if I missed anyone, I apologize, but thank you all for being here today. So now that I've recognized our distinguished guests, let me introduce myself. My name is Gabe Vasquez, and I serve on the Board of Trustees for the Dallas Bar Foundation and as Vice Chair of its Executive Committee. Today, I have the privilege, along with my colleague, Rocio Garcia Espinoza, to welcome everyone on behalf of the Dallas Bar Foundation, its trustees, the Dallas Bar Association, and all those gathered today to participate in this ceremony. There's a proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is today. Well, we're living in both of those moments today. But because sometime over 20 years ago, and yes, Judge, I know it was a little longer than that, the Dallas Bar Foundation awarded one of its initial and prestigious Sarah T. Hugh Fellowship Awards to a young scholar named Irma Ramirez, and the Dallas Bar Foundation planted a tree. And that full tuition scholarship enabled her to attend and graduate from the Methodist University Dedman School of Law, and from there launched her career serving the legal profession, first as a practicing attorney, then as a federal prosecutor, and then as a federal magistrate judge for many years. And through time, she grew her deep roots in our Dallas community as she served the law and the judiciary, but most importantly, she served her community. And that's what makes us and me personally the most proud, because I'm very fortunate to be a Hughes Scholar, and we as a community of scholars have always looked at our Judge Ramirez as one of the best. She's our tree, and we grow under her humble protection and are grateful that this intelligent, humble, giving person and scholar always made time to serve us and others. Because as it has been said before, you cannot be what you cannot see. And now today, we're a proud witness to this moment where we gather to celebrate our investiture to the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and we see the first Hispanic woman on the court, who was confirmed with overwhelming bipartisan support on the strength of her judiciary record, whose tireless work to serve and mentor her community continues to be seen and appreciated. And all the while, she continues to inspire those Hughes Scholars, and frankly, all future scholars that are privileged and lucky to know her. So today, the Dallas Bar Foundation and its scholars see her with pride, and our profession is strengthened by her strong branches of humility, honor, integrity to the rule of law, and service to others. We know she will continue to be a tree of wisdom and integrity for all communities, as she serves one of the highest callings of our profession, as a judge that weighs the facts and applies the law with utmost integrity and honor. And in the course of doing so, inspires others that come after her to do the same. On behalf of all of us here, we thank you, Your Honor, for giving us the occasion and the privilege of celebrating your investiture today. And now for the next portion of the program, we will have remarks from Senator Cornyn, then remarks by video from Senator Ted Cruz, followed by remarks from Michael Hunt of the American Bar Association. And to begin, I'm honored to welcome Senator John Cornyn, who was first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2002, is currently serving his fourth term. He sits on the Senate Finance, Intelligence, and Judiciary Committees, where he crafts legislation on behalf of more than 30 million Texans. Senator Cornyn has served the people of Texas for nearly 4 decades, as a district judge, as a member of the Texas Supreme Court, and the Texas Attorney General, before representing the Lone Star State in the U.S. Senate, where he works diligently to preserve a healthy and independent judiciary. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our good friend and senior United States Senator, John Cornyn.
May it please the court. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back in Dallas, and thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the investiture of the newest judge on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, our friend, Judge Irma Ramirez. Thanks, Gabe, for you and the entire investiture committee for bringing us all together. And Judge Ramirez, I must say, you really know how to draw a crowd. It's great to be surrounded by so many members of the judiciary, both active and a couple recovering judges. A special thanks go out from me to members of the bipartisan Federal Judicial Evaluation Committee, headed by David Pritchard and served by some of the best lawyers in the state of Texas, who, as you know, work with Senator Cruz and me to find the best and the brightest candidates to recommend to the White House for service on the federal bench. We are blessed with an awful lot of great lawyers in the state. And frankly, I think the president has done an outstanding job in choosing Judge Ramirez. Just a little footnote here. Typically, those of you who follow this process know that senators have a blue slip they can use to persuade the White House to accept their suggested nominee for the district court. Not so for the Fifth Circuit or the circuit courts. And so when this vacancy occurred, Senator Cruz and I asked the White House to let us try to use the Federal Judicial Evaluation Committee, a bipartisan or nonpartisan group, to identify the best candidates. And they said, okay. Well, as you know by now, Judge Ramirez came out first in that competition. And so when we recommended her to President Biden, we were pleased and maybe just a little surprised when they said yes. And I think that is a tribute to the process that Senator Cruz and I have set up, and the people that serve on the Federal Judicial Evaluation Committee, who are not trying to pick partisans or politicians that happen to wear black robes, but people who truly believe in the importance and the independence of the judiciary, which are the crown jewels of our great nation. You know that Judge Ramirez served as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Northern District. She also developed a reputation as a top-tier, top-level prosecutor and a trusted advocate. Then she served as a U.S. magistrate judge, recognized by the members of the bench and chosen because of her dedication to the rule of law as a magistrate in the Northern District of Texas, and recognized again for her outstanding contributions. I've always believed that it's really important to have appellate judges that have trial court experience. And of course, Judge Ramirez was assigned more than 2,400 cases for full case management and presided over 440 civil cases. She's earned the respect of virtually every person with whom she has crossed paths. And as we see today, she's built an army of supporters who cheered her on through her career. In many ways, it's been said, and it's absolutely true, that Judge Ramirez exemplifies the American dream. She's a proud daughter of Mexican immigrants, and her father worked in the cotton fields in West Texas. He would tell his daughter, study hard so you don't have to do the work in the fields like I have to. And she took that to heart. There's no question that Judge Ramirez has made her father proud, and I know he's looking down on the ceremony today as we celebrate his daughter becoming the first Latina to serve on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Let's give Judge Ramirez a round of applause for that. We are privileged indeed to live in a country with an independent judiciary. As I said earlier, the crown jewels of our great nation. But that system will not succeed on its own. In order to work, we need impartial judges who operate with integrity and rule without fear or favor. I believe Judge Ramirez is exceptionally qualified, and I'm grateful that she's willing to take on this important job. Judge, it's great to be here with you and your family and friends to celebrate this investiture today. Thank you for your years of public service in the past, and here's to many, many more to come. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I can't be with you today in person to celebrate the investiture of Judge Irma Carrillo Ramirez to serve on the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. I want to welcome members of the judiciary, members of the bar, and many other distinguished guests gathered in recognition of Judge Ramirez's distinct accomplishment and her history of service to both Dallas and our nation. During my tenure in the Senate, I've worked to confirm qualified nominees to serve our judicial system, and through it, the good people of Texas. I was very glad to join with Senator Cornyn in recommending Judge Ramirez to the President for appointment to the Fifth Circuit, and I'm confident she will serve with the same distinction she has demonstrated over the past 2 decades as a United States Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you, Judge Ramirez, for your willingness to serve and to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law. God bless you.
May it please the court. Chief Judge Richmond, Senator Cornyn, honored guest, distinguished judiciary. My name is Michael Hunt. I'm a member of the firm of Phelps Dunbar, and I'm honored to appear at this event on behalf of the American Bar Association Standing Committee on the Federal Judiciary. It was my privilege to conduct the evaluation of Judge Ramirez in connection with her nomination to the Fifth Circuit. For over 70 years, the Standing Committee has evaluated nominees for the federal bench. The United States Senate, through its Committee on the Judiciary, has received the ratings provided by the Standing Committee since 1953, and that applies to all Article III and Article IV judges. They still consider those ratings to this day. The Standing Committee consists of 1 member from each of the federal judicial circuits, except for the Ninth Circuit, which has 2 because of its size. There are 3 at-large members. The Standing Committee does not engage in anything to do with the selection of nominees. Our role is, once a nominee is identified, we conduct an evaluation of their professional qualifications, and we focus on issues that turn on professional competency, integrity, and judicial temperament. The committee does not consider anyone's political affiliation. They do not consider ideology. And the Standing Committee is independent and insulated from any other activities of the American Bar Association. The evaluation process is based upon confidential interviews with judges and lawyers who have professional interaction, professional relationships with the nominee. In connection with this evaluation of Judge Ramirez, I spoke with many of you in this room. And I also conducted a lengthy interview of Judge Ramirez and learned about her fascinating life story. From the interviews and a review of the nominee's writings, the evaluator develops a recommendation and a proposed rating that's shared with the other members of the Standing Committee. In the case of Judge Ramirez, the interviews revealed that she is held in very high regard. Many comments addressed her unusually broad experience, starting in a civil practice at a prestigious Dallas law firm, moving to the U.S. Attorney's Office, where she had both civil and criminal responsibilities, and then over 20 years as a magistrate judge in the Northern District. The interviews described Judge Ramirez as smart, thorough, and an excellent writer. She has a reputation for applying the law fairly and thoughtfully. Many commented on her diligence and her work ethic. She is always well prepared, they said. Her judicial temperament is exceptional, her integrity impeccable. My conclusion, based upon her peers, the source of the information, was that Judge Ramirez was well qualified to serve the Fifth Circuit. Well qualified is the Standing Committee's highest rating. The members of the Standing Committee evaluated the report, and they voted unanimously that she was well qualified. An independent federal judiciary is key to preserving the rule of law, and a federal judge is the only lifetime appointment in our government. It therefore matters a great deal that the selection and investigation of any nominee for this important position is a thorough one. On behalf of the ABA Standing Committee on the Federal Judiciary, I extend my congratulations to Judge Ramirez and her family. I wish her all the best for what I know will be distinguished service on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal. Thank you for granting me the privilege of making these remarks.
May it please the court. My name is Rocio Cristina Garcia Espinosa, and I am elated to witness this day. Like Judge Ramirez, I also come from a heritage of Mexican immigrant parents, and am proud to serve as Senior Counsel of Real Estate at Rosewood Property Company, where I work on some of the most complex real estate deals that create communities around the United States. My father initially made the journey to the US as a bracero, as did Judge Ramirez's father, and the full circle of my journey never escapes me. Our shared background is one of the reasons that I feel connected to Judge Ramirez and one of the reasons that I look up to her. Today is a great day for the United States, the Fifth Circuit, the state of Texas, and the city of Dallas. Today is a great day for the Dallas Bar Foundation. I am here as trustee speaking on behalf of the Dallas Bar Foundation, and I am confident that we are incredibly delighted and proud of Judge Irma Ramirez, who, as you heard earlier, was a recipient of the Sarah T. Hughes Diversity Scholarship for her hard work and dedication to the study of law. Established in 1981 by the Dallas Bar Foundation, the Judge Sarah T. Hughes Diversity Scholarship was established to increase the diversity of the legal community in Dallas. The foundation is honored to say the Hughes Scholarship helps to create a cycle of success. As the wise Judge Ramirez once said, no matter where we are in our lives and careers and how far we still want to go, we are always in a position to help somebody else. We can never truly pay back our champions, our sponsors, our mentors. We can only try to pay it forward. She is one of the first people to purchase her ticket to attend the foundation's fundraisers. She is eager to meet the new class of Hughes Scholars, and she is a Sustaining Life Fellow. These examples are a very, very small slice of all of her years of hard work to pay it forward. Her lead gives us the impetus to follow in her footsteps to pay it forward. Your Honor, I extend my heartfelt congratulations on your appointment to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. I am proud of you. You epitomize the American dream. Your wisdom, integrity, and dedication to justice inspires us all. Next, we will hear from Natalia Albores, a 3L at SMU Dedman School of Law, inspired by watching Judge Ramirez's confirmation process. We will also hear from Bill Mateja, President of the Dallas Bar Association and former Assistant U.S. Attorney colleague, Edward Loya, President of the Dallas Hispanic Bar Association, and Vicki Blanton, DBA President-elect and a law school classmate of Judge Ramirez's. Mrs. Albores, I invite you to the stage.
May it please the court. Good evening, everyone. My name is Natalia Albores, and I am a 3L at SMU. First of all, I want to thank you, Judge Ramirez, for inviting me to speak on your behalf tonight. I am so incredibly honored to be a part of your celebration. I had the opportunity of spending part of my 1L summer in Judge Ramirez's chambers. I will forever be indebted to you because had it not been for this opportunity, I am not sure that I would be here today. After I finished that first year, I felt so frustrated. As a first-generation Latina law student, I had come into law school not really knowing what to expect. But after that first year ended, I really thought I was in over my head. I felt like law school was not the place for me. What made it even more difficult was the fact that I felt like there weren't many people that I could relate to, and I really did feel so lost. But from the first day of my internship with Judge Ramirez, I could feel a sense of hope coming back. And it was because of the time I got to spend with her that summer that I was able to bring back the spark I had lost during 1L. During that summer, Judge Ramirez was an incredible teacher. She always encouraged us interns to go out and watch as many things as we could. And after a whole year of nothing but reading cases and books, this opportunity to watch real in-court proceedings really helped me put things in perspective. And it reminded me the cases we read about involve real people, and it helped me discover my passion. As her intern, I had the opportunity of seeing her in action. This was incredibly inspiring in more ways than I can list. But I think the most important one is that Judge Ramirez was a real, physical, tangible example of why I should keep fighting for this career. After feeling so lost and out of place, seeing her up on the bench made me feel like law school could be a place for me. It gave me hope that if I fought hard enough, worked hard enough, this field could be one for me. When I heard of Judge Ramirez's nomination and confirmation, I was incredibly happy because I know firsthand from seeing her in chambers how hard she works, how seriously she takes her job. I am so fortunate to have had the opportunity to spend that summer with her. Thank you for leading by example, and thank you for opening the door for so many Latino women like myself.
May it please the court. My name is Bill Matei. I'm a white-collar defense partner at Shepard Mullen here in Dallas, and I am this year's president of the Dallas Bar Association. And I want to welcome you to this beautiful mansion, which I think most of you all know is the home to the Dallas Bar. And as its president and head bottle washer, I officially welcome you to our home. And as Judge Ramirez told me just a few minutes ago, she considers this to be her home because this is where she grew up as a lawyer. So make yourself feel comfortable. The refrigerator's stocked. Help yourself, okay? By the way, while we call this place the Arts District Mansion, given the number of district judges here, I think we need to start calling it like the District Judges Mansion, or maybe just the Judges Mansion, because we've got a lot of judges here today, right? Well, Judge Ramirez, we're here on behalf of, or I'm here on behalf of the nearly 12,000 members of the Dallas Bar Association to congratulate you and to wish you Godspeed as you embark on this next journey in what has been a remarkable career for that little girl who grew up in an area where I was an old federal prosecutor out the South Plains of Texas in Brownfield, a tiny, dusty cotton field town that I've driven through many times. What a run you've had and what an accomplishment we honor today. So congratulations to you, one of the Dallas Bar's favorite daughters. So Judge Ramirez, while we all know that you went to SMU, that you were a Hughes Scholar, you were at the U.S. Attorney's Office with me, you're a magistrate judge. As a Dallas Bar president, I want people to know what a difference that you've made to the Dallas Bar and to the profession, because clearly the Dallas Bar has been part of the fabric of your life. To my way of thinking, that doesn't really get recognized enough. And it was funny when I emailed Vicki Blanton yesterday and she emailed you to try to help me remember all the things that you've done for the Dallas Bar. Your response was, well, you know what? And you were very modest. It's like, no need. Let's skip over that in the interest of time. Well, the truth is that, you know, in the interest of time, we're blowing that out of the water. And that's okay, because this is your party, right? While you might be modest, your service to the bar has been anything but modest. In 1993, you were the committee chair for the Minority Participation Committee. And the statement of goals that you drafted then still serves today, and it has withstood the test of time. You were the vice chair and the chair of the Bench Bar Committee numerous times, serving as the chair in 2008 and 7 years later in 2015. So the business litigation section, which is one of our most robust sections here in Dallas, you were on the executive committee from 2006 and 2011. I've been proud to count you as a colleague on the trial skills committee on our executive committee, where I think we've both been on it for the last 10 years. We both served as directors on the Dallas Bar Board together. You are a DBA living legend. You're a proud and active supporter of Bar None, and who's not. And you're not just a Sarah T. Hughes Scholar, but involved mentor to Hughes Scholars, and you've hosted a number of Hughes Scholars in your court. There's a whole lot of other bar service we could go through, but in the interest of time, so while relatively little has been made, to my knowledge, about your bar service, I want to trumpet it loud and clear because I think it speaks volumes, and I hope it provides an example to everyone here about the value of bar service. And I see so many like Judge Mazant and a number of people that I've been proud to count as colleagues in bar service, because it's really important to do that, and it's important to our profession. So as your friend, your former colleague in the U.S. Attorney's Office and your colleague with the Dallas Bar, I want you to indulge me just 1 minute, okay? So last night I'm with my wife. We go over to the Winsphere. We see John Batiste, who's one of the premier musicians, I think, in the U.S., in the world. And his encore song was, It's a Wonderful World. And you guys all know the song, I see trees of green, red roses too, I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. That made me think, isn't it a wonderful world that a daughter of Mexican immigrants is on one of the biggest stages here today, providing inspiration to the efforts of one of the Dallas Bar's most important committees, the Allied Bars Equality Committee? Isn't it a wonderful world that someone as modest as you, who devoted herself to the service to the profession, who didn't go out of her way to gun for the position on the Fifth Circuit, is what I'd call kind of a big deal. And isn't it a wonderful world that someone who was in the trenches in the U.S. Attorney's Office, just as I was when we were colleagues together, is the first Latina on the Fifth Circuit? All I've got to say, it's a pretty wonderful world. So let me wrap up, again, on the interest of time. I've always felt like you were just kind of our little treasure here in Dallas, but now you're not just ours. So we're gonna have to share you, but know that we do that proudly. And just like I told my eldest daughter, Macaulay, a couple of years ago when she got married, you know, that she was always gonna be my little girl, I'll tell you that you're always gonna be ours. Our little treasure here with the Dallas Bar. So please don't forget us here in Dallas. I know you won't. And continue to make a difference, not just on the bench, but with your service to the bar and the profession. Congratulations, Judge Ramirez. Congratulations to you, one of Dallas Bar's favorite daughters, and Godspeed on your journey. Knock 'em dead. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge Ramirez, Mr. Ramirez, Senator Cornyn, Your Honors, esteemed guests, may it please the court. My name is Eddie Loya, and I'm the president of the Dallas Hispanic Bar Association. The DHBA is comprised of more than 600 attorneys and law student members. We are extremely proud of Judge Ramirez's historic accomplishment, and from our perspective, this day could not have come soon enough. In DFW, we have one of the largest concentrations of Hispanics in the nation. In Texas, we're almost to the point where 1 in every 2 persons is Hispanic. And yet before Judge Ramirez's confirmation to the Fifth Circuit, we did not have one Hispanic Article III judge serving in Dallas, or in North Texas for that matter. In elevating Judge Ramirez to be the first Latina ever to serve on the Fifth Circuit, President Biden and Senators Cornyn and Cruz helped address that deficiency. We're extremely grateful for their leadership and wisdom in making this appointment. Senator Cornyn, on behalf of the Dallas Hispanic Bar Association, thank you for supporting Judge Ramirez. We're equally grateful to Senator Cruz. I would also like to take the time to thank the Hispanic National Bar Association. The HNBA is the largest Hispanic bar association in the country. Judge Ramirez's nomination to the Fifth Circuit was of national importance to the Hispanic community. I'm one of HNBA's co-chairs of its endorsements committee, together with Robert Rabin, who's with us in the audience. I know the great work that the committee did to advocate on behalf of Judge Ramirez. I'm grateful to my colleagues. Thank you, Robert. Thank you to our past co-chair, Alex Gonzalez. Thank you to our past presidents, Carlos Boyar, Mariana Bravo, and our current president, Dan Mateo. A couple of years ago, our DHBA past president, Javier Perez, interviewed Judge Ramirez as part of the Dallas Bar Association's Living Legend series. And in that interview, Javier asked the judge if she can go back in time and give herself some advice, what would she say to herself? And the judge said that she would tell herself to be less afraid and more excited. Those of us at DHBA who've had the opportunity to get to know the judge understand what she meant by those words. By her example, she has shown us that humble beginnings can and should be a source of confidence and inspiration, not an impediment. That consistency, excellence, and a reputation for being someone people can count on will take you far. that character, integrity, and grace matter, and that if you put in the effort, there's no limit to what you can achieve. In this short time, I couldn't possibly tell you all the different ways that Judge Ramirez has contributed to the DHBA, but the highlights are that she has presided over our board swearing-in ceremony. She has spoken at our Latino leadership program. She has helped DHBA establish our judicial externship program. She's hired numerous law student interns and externs, and she regularly attends events that are important to DHBA. I know the judge has inspired a generation of lawyers, and that some of those individuals will follow her to a career of service on the bench. We are so lucky to have someone of Judge Ramirez's stature and caliber in our community. Thank you, Your Honor, for being a bright example of what this profession has to offer each of us. Thank you for showing us to be less afraid and more excited at a time when our community needs that example. Congratulations, Your Honor, on this historic achievement.
May it please the court, Chief Judge Richmond, Your Honors, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues. In August 1988, I first stepped onto the campus of SMU School of Law for the very first time. A few weeks before classes started, yes, I know, a gunner in the making. As I walked around campus, checking out the lay of the land, figuring out where my classes were, I ran into the Dean of Students, who introduced me to the Sarah T. Hughes Scholar for my class. The student smiled at me and offered her assistance. That initial greeting told me three things about Irma Ramirez. Number one, I'm from Dallas. I know who Sarah T. Hughes was. I grew up in the shadows of that photo from that dark day in history, of that infamous day. And I knew what a distinguished honor it was to be her scholar. Secondly, if you were getting a full ride scholarship to SMU, you were probably one of the most brilliant people I would ever meet. But the last thing, and the most important thing, was her smile was genuine and authentic, which told me that she was kind. My second interaction with Irma Ramirez was less direct. You see, my class was one of the largest class they ever had at SMU, but there were 5 Blacks, 5. In someone's infinite wisdom, they put 4 of us in one section and 1 alone. And so we would check in on our classmate every now and again, and 4 of us are here today. And we would check on our classmate, and she said, "No, I'm fine. I have a study buddy. Irma is great. She's helpful to me. She's wonderful to me." And that told me something else about her, that she was empathetic and compassionate, and she would never let someone walk a hard road alone. We go through our first year of law school, and now it's time for clerkships. And somehow I talked my way into a clerkship at the city attorney's office with the then first assistant, who would later become this little position, you know, U.S. Trade Ambassador, Ron Kirk. So you know I was doing some fast talking. Somehow I managed to get a job there, and he introduced me around, and he took me to my workstation, which was a table in the law library. And guess who was already there yet again? Irma Ramirez. The summer of 1989 was hot, both in temperature and in temperament. The city of Dallas was dealing with some very heavy issues: police shootings, redistricting. There were protests weekly in the council chamber that we could hear in the law library. And we dealt with those issues with all the legal scholarship that 1 year of law school afforded us. And luckily for you, the citizens of Dallas, we came out on the right side of history. But what was important about that, that cemented the foundation of a 30-year friendship. Fast forward 10 years later, as she was in her second position as an AUSA, Assistant U.S. Attorney, and I was in my position as in-house counsel for JCPenney, I got a call. She called me and she said, I got it. I got the appointment. I have been appointed as a U.S. federal magistrate after I finished squealing across my cubicle and across the floor. My first words to her were, you're going up. You're going up. She said to me, oh, come on now, let me do the job that's in front of me. Let's not, let's not get carried away. And I said, no. Don't ever speak against your destiny. You're going up. So I get to stand here today in awe and respect and honor. And I get to say to my sister in the law, I told you so. But it doesn't stop there. The dream for me doesn't stop there, because you see now, I get to hear the words that every Texas lawyer wants to hear from a Fifth Circuit appellate court judge. Counselor, you were right. Congratulations to the Honorable Irma Carrillo Ramirez, Fifth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals.
There's some heavy-duty kissing going on there. It is my pleasure and distinct honor to present the commission of the appointment of and the investiture and installation of Justice Irma Carrillo Ramirez. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in wisdom, uprightness, and learning of Irma Carrillo Ramirez of Texas, I have nominated and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, do appoint her a United States Circuit Judge for the Fifth Circuit, and do authorize and empower her to execute and fulfill the duties of that office according to the Constitution and laws of the said United States, and to have and to hold the said office with all the powers, privileges, emoluments to the same of right appertaining unto her, the said Irma Carrillo Ramirez, during her good behavior. Yeah, I thought the same thing. In testimony whereof, I have caused these letters to be made patent and the seal of the Department of Justice to be hereunto affixed. Done at the city of Washington, I just can't tell you how proud I am to say these words, this 8th day of December in the year of our Lord 2023, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 248th, by the President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, Jr., and the Attorney General, Merrick B. Garland. Congratulations.
I understand the Boy Scouts are going to escort you. Is it Irma or Irma? Whatever. Irma. I've heard her name pronounced two different ways today, and I wanted to give her her choice. I need a cheat sheet for this one. I, Irma Carrillo Ramirez,
I, Irma Carrillo Ramirez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will administer justice
that I will administer justice
with respect to persons
with respect to persons
and to do equal right to the poor and to the rich,
and to do equal right to the poor and to the rich,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all duties incumbent on me as United States Circuit Judge
incumbent on me as United States Circuit Judge
under the Constitution and laws of the United States,
under the Constitution and laws of the United States,
and that I will support and defend the Constitution
and that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
against
all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
and
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Judge Ramirez, Senator Cornyn, your honors, and to everyone else who are all distinguished guests, on behalf of the court, welcome, good afternoon. And first of all, thank you to the Dallas Bar Association for hosting us this afternoon in this lovely, lovely facility and event. We are all very happy that you're here this afternoon to share in and witness the formal investiture of Judge Ramirez. I suspect that if you told someone you were going to attend an investiture, you would get, or maybe you actually already have gotten, some quizzical looks. Outside of the judiciary, not many people are familiar with what an investiture is. According to the first definition that popped up on Google, it is the action of formally investing a person with honors or rank. And that's what we're here to do today, to formally invest Judge Irma Ramirez with the honor and rank of a United States Circuit Judge. Congress has authorized 179 circuit court judgeships. If they were divided equally among the states, that's less than 4 per state. Texas has a larger number, obviously. So the number of circuit judges is relatively small. Judge Ramirez is joining a select group. We are all full of joy today that Irma Ramirez has been selected to serve on the Fifth Circuit. She is certainly well qualified, as we have heard. She was in private practice at the Locke Purnell Rain Herald firm, now Locke Lord, before she served as Assistant United States Attorney. And for more than 20 years, again, as we've heard, she served ably as a federal magistrate judge. She's come to our court well equipped, and she got to work immediately after arriving here. Her first oral argument sitting with the Fifth Circuit as a circuit judge was when our court heard 5 cases en banc in January. Now, it's a tall order for even an experienced appellate judge to prepare for 5 en banc cases. You cannot imagine the mountain of emails and memos that are exchanged regarding our en banc cases. But Judge Ramirez proved she was up to the task. Her contributions in the consideration of each case were incisive and discerning, and she offered views others had not. We are very fortunate that she has joined our court. Investitures are more than just a celebration. We are very fortunate that she has joined our court. Investitures are more than just a celebration for the person being honored. The investiture of a judge, to me, has a very special quality and feel to it. It gives us cause and pause to think about how blessed we are to live in a country that has a legal system whose core value is to uphold and preserve the rule of law and the freedoms for which this country was founded. Investitures lift us up. For those of us who've been in the legal community, legal profession, and are members of the judiciary, investitures remind us of our commitments and the oaths that each of us has taken. So we are very happy to be here this afternoon, and I hope that we leave remembering what the judiciary is about and what the legal profession is about, and the commitments and responsibilities that we all have, and that I'm sure that Judge Ramirez will carry out very well and very honorably, and she's going to be a great judge. Will you please come forward to give your remarks?
May it please the court. Old habit. Today is about so much more than one person. It's about community. A community which more than 40 years ago laid the foundation that made this day possible. I have on several occasions talked about my father's journey as a bracero, how my parents met in the cotton fields of West Texas. I would not be here without them, or without the most patient and selfless person I know, my husband of 38 years. I was 12. Actually, I should have learned not to say that joke. I said it one time, and the person I said it to said, "Really? Me too." Awkward. Today, I'd like to talk about another reason I am here, though: my extended family, my community. Before I do, I'd first like to thank President Biden for the honor of this nomination to be United States Circuit Judge, and to Senators Cornyn and Cruz for your recommendation and support of the nomination, and for all of the work that your staffers put in on this nomination. I will forever be convinced that that's the reason I'm not the one who got the question about the dormant Commerce Clause at the confirmation hearing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank Senators Durbin and Schumer for scheduling the hearing and the vote, and their staffers as well, and we've got one who's joined us today. To the members of the Federal Judicial Evaluation Committee for all of your hard work and your kindness to me during the process and the evaluation. To the ABA Standing Committee on the Judiciary, the Department of Justice's Office of Legal Policy, and the White House Counsel's Office all participated in the vetting and in guiding me through the process. To the Dallas Hispanic Bar Association and the Hispanic National Bar Association for their tireless work on this nomination. And to all of their members from across the country who have told me, sometimes through tears, what this nomination means to them. I'd like to thank everyone who made this wonderful event possible. The Dallas Bar Foundation and the Dallas Bar Association in particular. I won't list everyone. They're listed in the program in the interests of time. I do want to mention some people who aren't on that list. First of all, my judicial assistant, Marie Gonzalez. She wouldn't let me put her on the list, but she's amazing. She also conscripted her entire family to come help, so thank you, family. Scoutmaster Wesley Alost and Scout parents, thank you for bringing the Scouts today, and I'm going to tell them in a little bit why it was so important to me that you be here and that you participate in the ceremony. To my friend Teresa, who provided the beautiful guest books that will be outside, I hope that you will take a moment to sign or write a note, whatever you feel comfortable with. And to the artist who created that wonderful portrait on display. It's an amazing piece of work, Priscilla Villarreal. To my new colleagues on the Fifth Circuit, thank you for being so extraordinarily welcoming, kind, and patient with me. I am honored by your presence here today. And to the members of all of the Fifth Circuit Court units who are also helpful and who very scarily seem to be available 24/7. They're watching. I'd like to thank all of you for making time out of your very busy schedules today to be here with me to celebrate. Because again, it's not about one person, it's about this community. More than 40 years ago, the Lions of the Dallas Bar Foundation, the Dallas Bar Association, decided that the bar should be more representative of the community that it served. So they created this full tuition scholarship at SMU that's been funded in large part by an annual variety show that's run for more than 35 years. The Barnum Singers, who sang the national anthem today so beautifully, include original cast members. You've been with me from the very beginning, and I'm so honored that you're with me still today. My community includes so many. My law school dean and professors, some are here, who not only taught us, but also supported, guided, mentored, and befriended us. A group of diverse attorneys who made time out of their very busy schedules to come to the law school to support, encourage, tutor, and just be there for a small group of diverse, scared 1L students when we needed it most. I've never forgotten that. To the attorneys at the law firm that took a chance on me, who modeled what it means to be a lawyer of the highest caliber, and who patiently taught me how to practice law, and to the staff that supported us and our work for our clients. To the attorneys, dedicated public servants with whom I worked at the Office of the United States Attorney, and the staff members, as well as the brave agents and local law enforcement who supported our work. All of their commitment to the pursuit of justice never ceased to amaze me. To the judges of the Northern District of Texas, who also took a chance on me, who led by sterling example as they taught me how to be a judge, and who put their confidence in me. To my fellow magistrate judges, along whom I served with on the front line of the judicial system. I learned as part of my orientation that as the front line, magistrate judges draw the most judicial complaints by pro ses. On behalf of the magistrate judges, Article 3s, you're welcome. To my former law clerks and staff attorneys, and so many came from out of town, I'm so honored. You worked so hard, you know what it's like, and I thank you for your service. You are our future judges, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. To the Northern District of Texas Court units, the clerk's office, who has worked so hard and who's helped me over the past 21 years when we had emergency filings and orders that needed to get out, the United States Marshals who are here today, and provided security and keep us safe. Court security officers, we've got some here too. The United States Probation and Pretrial Services Office, the Office of the United States Attorney, the Federal Public Defender's Office, the CJA attorneys who took Marie's calls and took cases, thank you. And to the retained attorneys who also help keep our system of justice strong and wonderful. To my fellow members of the bar, the ushers who represent all of the allied bars of the Dallas Bar Association. You're all members of my community, and I am so honored that you agreed to be a part of this very special ceremony for me. It truly means the world. You are all so amazing, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. To the judges and attorneys, state and federal, with whom I've served on committees and panels and boards, attorneys who attended those panels, who've appeared before me, who work alongside me, who have just done so much for our community. To the deans of all of the law schools who are here today and who for some reason asked me to keep coming back, so I will. To my friends, your friendship, your love, your support throughout life, not just the application process. You've been there for me, and you've been there all along, and I can't believe so many of you came from out of town to be here. It is truly so meaningful to me. To my family who came from out of town to be here with me today. All of these components of my community have been integral, not to just my being here, but to making this a strong legal community. And finally, to the youngest members of my community, thank you, Natalia, for those beautiful words. To the scouts who honored me with their presence, you guys did so great. To the law students who are here today and the young attorneys. You're why I'm here today, in large part. When presented with the opportunity to be considered for this position, there was only one right answer: yes. But when I picked up my prior application to start the paperwork, the emotion of the failed 2016 nomination came flooding back. And in that moment, I didn't know if I could do it again. I didn't think I had the heart or the strength to fight back, knowing that it would be harder and more intense, and that the odds of success were practically non-existent. As I flipped through my application, it fell open to the list of presentations over the years, so many to schools and student groups. And I thought about you and others like you and all of those beautiful faces that you saw on that lovely video before. And I thought of the wonder and joy on your faces as you played the parts of lawyers and judges, and watching you realize that this was a possibility for you. It struck me. How can I continuously tell you to dream beyond your circumstances and not to give up, not to be afraid to take chances, and yet not jump at an opportunity that I could never have imagined, even after 20 years as a federal judge? That's not how you lead. I thought I was teaching you how not to give up, no matter how hard, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how improbable. In reality, you are teaching me, and I am humbled. Thank you for reminding me why it's important not to give up. More than anything, today is about you, because you are the most important part of our community. You're our future. Thank you for reminding me that just as the foundation laid the foundation for today decades ago, we have to continue building on it for you. until it's your turn to build for yourselves tomorrow. In conclusion, thank you to the community that brought me to Dallas, made it possible for me to go to a private law school, gave me a home, a mansion in which to grow and learn and engage as an attorney, that hired me as a lawyer, taught me how to be a lawyer and how to be a judge, allowed me to serve the public and my community and to my entire greater community, which made it possible for me to be here today. I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you.
May it please the court. Please excuse my red eyes. My pride for Judge Ramirez's historic day turned to tears. No one invite me to your wedding, I'll cry too. Thank you to everyone for attending this investiture. Many of you traveled from outside the state and other cities in Texas. We appreciate your time, effort, and presence on this historic day. We welcome you to stay and visit with each other at the reception hosted by the Dallas Bar Foundation that follows. Chief Judge Richmond, this concludes the investiture.
Again, thank you all for coming, and that concludes today's investiture ceremony. The court.
All rise.
Are we supposed to sit here awkwardly for another 30 minutes?
No, I think you're supposed to go find a drink, baby.
Hey, Mom, it's good to meet you. I heard great things about you.